We thank you for IIF to be here with us today. We thank you for the opportunity of this workshop, and may we gain knowledge from this and learn how to do better on the TOEFL test in the future. We thank you for ways in which you provide for us all, especially for your protection and love. Please guide us to discover more about the world around us. Amen. Alright, so I'm going to explain what today's agenda first. We'll have the general presentation from Ibu Diana Kartika Yahya, the director of IIF. She's going to give general information about the TOEFL test. And then we're going to do the test simulation, that's the fun part. And then we're going to do a bit of group discussion, and then we'll do some presentation for each group, and you're all sitting in your group already.
First of all, I would like to thanks for your coming to this workshop. This is very good opportunity for us to get to know you, but also to announce that we have a new department, and also that we are going to work together with TOEFL ITP for making this new department able to move fastly, but also in a very good mood and also good action for the future. Ya, sebenarnya kerjasama ini untuk apa ya? Untuk encouraging us, workers, lecturers, but also students to be able to speak or to use English, especially because we are going to be a member of the international community. So, if we would like to see the medical department, we have around 265 foreign students, and they are speaking English, and their English are very good. Kebanggaan nasional kalau kita semua itu bisa betul-betul menjadi orang yang be better for the future, but also semakin baik di dalam bidang. Terima kasih. Datang ini workshop saya buka.
Ini departemen bahasa Inggrisnya sebetulnya sangat luar biasa, menawarkan sesuatu yang berbeda dari yang program-program serupa, dengan mengutamakan salah satunya adalah penjurusan di bidang creative writing dan business. Ini saya pikir merupakan sebuah terobosan yang sangat luar biasa, ya, karena IIF selama kami ini merupakan organisasi yang istilahnya mengedepankan pendidikan internasional. Mungkin kalau yang belum kenal dengan IIF, kami kantornya dekat di Menara Imperium di Kuningan, di lantai 28. Kalau mau main-main, monggo, kami terbuka. Dan kami kebetulan, memang kami sebuah organisasi Indonesia, namun kebetulan kami merupakan bagian dari sebuah institusi internasional, namanya Institute of International Education atau IIE. IIE merupakan sebuah lembaga non-profit di Amerika dan yang mempunyai international office di 12 negara, dan IIF adalah office di Indonesia. Tugas kami di Indonesia adalah kami dipercaya oleh sebuah institusi yang home base-nya di Princeton, Amerika, New Jersey, namanya Educational Testing Service atau ETS. ETS itu mempercayai kami untuk menjadi country master distributor untuk namanya TOEFL ITP. Dan ini 4 jam mengetes speaking, listening, reading, dan writing. Ya. Nah, kapan Anda harus ambil skor atau ambil TOEFL ini? TOEFL ini diambil jika Anda akan menggunakan skor tersebut untuk mendaftar ke universitas di luar negeri, terutama Amerika Serikat atau Kanada dan sebagainya. Ya. Jadi inilah kita harus sebagai pengguna, kita harus tahu kita ngapain sih ngambil TOEFL, kita akan berencana apa sih dengan TOEFL skor itu, ya kan? Jadi kalau Anda mau mendaftar ke universitas di luar negeri atau di Amerika Serikat misalnya, kemudian ada tulisannya persyaratannya harus TOEFL sekian, itu harus mengambil yang internet based TOEFL, tidak bisa tidak. Jadi sekarang tergantung Anda mau menggunakan skornya untuk apa. Kalau skornya dipakai untuk sebagai pendaftaran, persyaratan pendaftaran ngelamar ke bekerja, kemudian masuk ke university di Indonesia, ya itu TOEFL ITP. Sekarang sudah semakin banyak university di Indonesia yang mensyaratkan TOEFL ITP untuk nilai masuk dan juga syarat kelulusan. Tes ini dilakukan oleh mereka yang sudah punya akses, karena tidak semua orang Indonesia punya internet dan kartu kredit dan sebagainya. Sedangkan TOEFL ITP, ya Anda bisa langsung hubungi UGRI dan tidak usah bingung-bingung. Inilah yang akan Anda dapat nanti skornya. Jadi namanya TOEFL ITP tidak pernah ada sertifikat. Ada sertifikat institusi, ya. Itu hanya score report. Nanti sertifikatnya justru sertifikat CEFR atau Common European Framework Reference. ITP sudah juga mengacu kepada CEFR, ya, dia sudah di mapping namanya skornya CEFR, ya, seperti Anda lihat. Yang namanya independent user atau the thresholdnya itu ada di skor 460. Oh, sertifikatnya warnanya beda-beda pula. Waduh. Kalau gold itu yang tadi C1, silver B2, bronze B1. Ini leveling. Ya. Oh, seperti ini, certificate of achievement. Oke. Ya. Jadi Anda lihat di situ tidak ada nama institusi, ya. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you, Budiana. So now we're going to do the test simulation. Everybody got the folder, the clear folder? Alright, so the reading comprehension we'll give you 10 minutes and Ms. Frida here will time you. So, alright, let's start right now. And now we'll go to the next section, the structure and written expression, the section number 2, this one right here. You'll have 5 minutes to do this section, starting now. So I'll give you another minute. Just to clarify, there are 10 questions that you have to answer for this section. Alright, put your pen or pencil down. And now we're going to continue with the section number 1, the listening comprehension. Next page. Everybody are on this page right here? Alright. So Miss Rita is going to explain about the listening comprehension section.
Okay, so the listening comprehension will be played online. Langsung saja ya dijawab di kertasnya itu nanti ya. Ada 3 bagian, jadi ada 10 pertanyaan karena ini hanya simulasi ya. Jadi ada 10 pertanyaan. Ya. Itu ada petunjuknya juga ya. Jadi akan ada instruksi. Ya, jadi diikuti saja yang ada di situ. Ini kita akan mulai dari instruksinya dulu ya. Okay. So in the test, after you hear a conversation, you will have 12 seconds to respond to each question. Yeah. After 12 seconds, the next conversation will begin, and you will not be able to go back. Okay. Important, during the actual test, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Ya, nanti saat tes yang benar-benar tes itu tidak boleh take notes. Ya, tetapi ini hanya simulasi. Kalau Bapak Ibu mau tulis di lembar sebelahnya boleh, tetapi pada saat tes yang sebenarnya tidak boleh. Ya. Okay, so here's an example ya. Di part A, jadi ada 3 part ya, A, B, and C. In part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. Jadi hanya 1 kali. After you hear a question, read the possible answers on the screen, yeah, on your answer sheet, and choose the best answer. And then on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Ya, jadi nanti langsung disilang saja, ya, di lembar jawab. Okay. So here is an example. Jadi akan saya putarkan recordingnya. Kemudian choose the best answer, ya.
I don't like this painting very much.
Neither do I.
What does the man mean?
Okay. You learn from the conversation that neither the man nor the woman likes the painting. So the best answer to the question, what does the man mean, is A. He doesn't like the painting either. Oke, berikutnya ini nanti silahkan. Jadi setelah saya klik akan dimulai pertanyaan pertama hingga pertanyaan 10. Ya, silahkan langsung dijawab di lembar jawabnya. Ya, oke. Saya mulai ya untuk yang listeningnya.
Shall I lock up the computer lab now before I go home?
Don't bother. I'm not leaving for a while. I can check it on my way out.
What will the woman probably do?
Oke. Kemudian kita berlanjut ke part C ya. Part C. Okay, in this part of the test, you will hear a lecture, an academic lecture. After the lecture, you will hear some questions. The lecture and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers and then choose the best answer. Okay, jadi akan ada 1 academic lecture, ya. Nanti kemudian akan ada beberapa pertanyaan. Okay, ini saya beri contohnya dulu. Jadi di situ ada contoh. Here is an example. Listen to the talk and then choose the best answer. Okay.
I'd like to tell you about an interesting TV program that'll be shown this coming Thursday. It'll be on from 9 to 10 p.m. on Channel 4. It's part of a series called Mysteries of Human Biology. The subject of the program is the human brain, how it functions and how it can malfunction. Topics that will be covered are dreams, memory, and depression. These topics are illustrated with outstanding computer animation that makes the explanation the nervous system in class. I know you'll find it very helpful.
What is the main purpose of the program?
Therefore, the correct choice is D. Remember, during the actual test, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Right? You may go to the last page. You will have one lecture and 3 questions there.
Alright, now you have your group with you, so if you see on the board, there are 4 questions and you have this big white paper, so you have to answer those questions. Well, Ms. Frida can explain it better. There are some roles in your group. So there are 6 of you.
Ya, oke. Setiap grup ada 6 orang kan ya. Itu ada kertas putih besar di depan. Silakan pakai spidolnya. Jadi disampaikan ya. So you have to discuss with your group what is the most difficult section of the ITP TOEFL test and why. Jadi silakan sharing dalam kelompoknya. And then what difficulties that you have in each section. Jadi kan tadi ada 3 ya. Ada reading, ada structure and written expressions, and the last one is listening. Jadi silahkan di-sharekan apa saja kesulitan yang dialami. And then what strategies that you apply to cope with the problems that you experience. Jadi ketika menghadapi kesulitan saat mengerjakan, ada strategi apa yang Bapak Ibu teman-teman lakukan saat mengerjakan tadi. Jadi silahkan di-sharingkan dalam kelompok. Waktunya sekitar 15 menit. Nanti setelah itu kelompoknya presentasi ya, presentasi di depan untuk membagikan apa yang sudah didiskusikan dalam kelompok.
Jadi tentunya oke, karena kosakata kita tentang bahasa Inggris itu kadang ada beberapa yang kurang. Yang pertanyaan yang reverse to itu biasanya lebih mudah karena udah ketahuan, bisa di soal ketahuan itu adanya di baris keberapa, kita tinggal baca. Dan kalau misalnya kita nggak ngerti tentang satu kosakata itu, kita bisa lihat kalimat sebelum atau sesudahnya dulu, jadi kurang lebih nangkep intinya lah. Lanjut ke yang writing. Writing kita bermasalah di tesis, strateginya itu pilih.
Jadi dari hasil diskusi kami pada soal pertama yang paling susah itu adalah section listening, karena pas dengerinnya itu kan kadang orangnya ngomongnya terlalu panjang, jadi akhirnya tuh susah untuk berkonsentrasi, kayak suka space out di tengah-tengah gitu. Terus yang kedua, kalaupun denger semua tuh kadang nggak ngerti orangnya tuh ngomong apa, mungkin kan ya sebelumnya karena aksennya juga gitu, kayak bingung ini yang diomongin tuh apa gitu. Makanya ini jadi section paling susah.
Selamat sore kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian dan teman-teman. Jadi hasil diskusi kelompok 4 dari kami itu presentasi, kita membuatnya dalam presentasi ya. Jadi golongan yang paling banyak yang kami temui selama ini itu yang sulit bagian structure sekitar 67% dan listening 33%.
Saya Adi Dharma Saputro, saat ini saya sebagai mahasiswa Fakultas Psikologi Trinidad angkatan 2011. Kami dari kelompok 2, kami ada Bu Astin, Bu Amel, Bu Endang, Bu Lisdiana, dan Pak Edi. Ini hasil diskusi kami tentang pertanyaan yang disajikan dalam slide. The most difficult section menurut kelompok kami adalah di bagian structure and listening. Why? Itu kenapa? Karena satu, kalau untuk di structure-nya kita masih careless, terutama untuk yang plural and singular. lalu kita juga masih bermasalah dengan grammar. Oke, terus ya kalau yang listening, vocab kita masih juga kurang. Secara percakapan sehari-hari kita kurang familiar atau not familiar with English dan minim concentration.
Yang pertama, yang paling susah adalah sesi listening. 4 dari 6 orang mengatakan listening paling susah dan 2 sisanya mengatakan struktur dan grammar paling susah. Lalu berikutnya yang kedua, kesusahannya kenapa kami memilih listening di nomor pertama adalah karena kami harus mengambil kesimpulan lagi dari percakapan itu. Karena pertanyaan yang pertama itu dari awal sampai akhir percakapannya, namun setelah pertanyaannya itu beda. Jadi kami harus mengambil kesimpulan lagi dari percakapannya, lalu berikutnya tidak konsentrasi. Tadi setelah mendengar listening beberapa saat, tiba-tiba hujan, dan itu pikiran langsung kemana-mana, banjir dan segala macam, jadi kami tidak konsen. Berikutnya yang maaf. Yang kedua adalah struktur. Kesusahannya adalah kami harus benar-benar hafal grammar karena kami di sini sangat cinta Indonesia, jadi kami kurang untuk hafal grammar. Lalu berikutnya kami sulit membedakan mana yang benar dan salah. Lalu yang terakhir adalah reading, karena menurut kami topiknya kurang familiar dan banyak vocabulary asing.
The most difficult section of the ITP TOEFL test, we agree, is listening part, because sometimes the accent of the speaker is difficult to be listened, because sometimes people who comes from other different countries have different accent, and we have to pay attention carefully in listening part, because if we miss some words or we not focus on the listening, we will miss the main point and we can answer the rest of the question.
Ya, jadi menurut kami karena dalam satu meja itu ada berenam dan kami mempunyai kesulitan masing-masing, jadi kami menganggap memberikan jawaban diplomatis bahwa semuanya susah. Jadi di sini kami cantumkan kenapa poin-poin tersebut, kenapa section tersebut kami anggap susah.
Reading susah karena waktu karena mungkin tekanan ya. Waktunya berjalan begitu cepat. Terus struktur paragraf itu ada yang apa ya? Menurut kami kurang pas gitunya.
Iya, jadi di sini kan di paragrafnya kan agak sedikit tidak terlihat paragrafnya, paragraf 1, paragraf 2, paragraf 3 gitu. Jadi saya agak sedikit bingung. Ini bagaimana ya menentukan apakah ini termasuk maksudnya kayak apakah refers to sama ini atau yang mana, atau ini sudah pindah paragraf gitu. Jadi bagi saya ini karena paragraf. Kemudian tambahan untuk reading termasuk vocabulary-nya juga. Vocabulary termasuk yang menghambat atau memberikan kesulitan yang cukup besar untuk section reading.
Explain about the reading strategies. So, Priscilla, please. Hi everyone. Well, the majority of you might have known me, but I guess I'll just mention my name again. I'm Ira Rasikawati. So I'm one of the lecturers at the UCLIDA Department of English, newly established. So we will start operating in September. So the ones that you see today, I was supposed to give us opening speech after Pak Rector, but because we started late, so I just decided that maybe I'll just do it later. So we do it at the same time when I'm giving tips for the reading. So Miss Ignas, please stand up. Frida, and also Linda, they are all English department lecturers, yeah, okay, because students are on holiday, so no one can help us today, but I think we are okay, because we kind of enjoy meeting you, spending time with us, and also not only from UCLIDA students and faculty members, but also from the public.
like I'm friends from other institutions, from other schools. So I would like to once again greet you and extend warm welcome to all of you. Okay, so I hope that you will learn something from this workshop. Okay, so I guess it was very interesting to listen to the presentation and the discussion, because maybe you wonder why we have to work and do something instead of listen to the strategies and tips at the beginning. I mean, we haven't even taught you anything yet or gave you any information yet, and you are asked to do the task. That was because we want to know the background you are coming from, because not all of you might have the same levels of English, and at the same time also you might have different learning experiences. So we want to know like where you are coming from so that we can better address the problems that you are having, and probably to add on the strategies that you might not know yet. So some of the tips that I'm giving might come also from the result of my research, also combined with my self-experience as language learners, okay, but also as language teachers. So maybe I will try to combine, and if you later come up with more ideas, please welcome you to participate. Okay, so there will be 3 topics, big topics that I'm going to discuss today. So, which is the general ITP TOEFL test taking tips, and tips for reading, and the last one, which is the largest body of the discussion, will be on the types of questions. The general tips, I'm going to explain briefly about the general tips in doing the TOEFL, but I might go over fast because some of you have heard from the IIF director before, so I will just pinpoint on the part that hasn't been discussed. If you learn the pattern later from Ms. Ignacia, that you will be able to kind of guess. So it's like if you maybe observe or have heard from the students who have participated. So reading comprehension, many of you mentioned that actually it's easy because the time is limited. So we often run out of time, so we couldn't finish answering all the questions, which is too bad. Because why? Because the further you go, the more difficult the passages are. If you run out of time, then you won't be able to answer well, because the length is you have longer text to read, usually more difficult questions to answer. So it's impossible to do well for the last minutes. Okay, so that's why we need strategy to have conversion score or conversion table in order to calculate. But basically, later on, Ms. Frida is going to show you a table so that you can kind of calculate yourself your score. Like if I made 3 mistakes, so what is my score approximately if I do the TOEFL ITP test? Yeah. You don't worry about taking notes because we will upload all the materials online on our website at the end of this seminar or by tomorrow. So we will email you the link where you can download. Okay. So use English every day, of course. That's obvious. But how we can use? You can listen, read, write in English. Okay, so if you don't have it, you create it. You make agreement with friends, with colleagues to speak in English, to text in English. So to create the chance if you don't have one. I could speed up my English skills a lot faster, maybe 4 times faster. And when my lecturer met me at the end of the study, they were kind of surprised, like, how did you improve your conversation skills so fast? They didn't know that I worked, of course. But people noticed that, so we might not realize, but you will definitely benefit from every opportunity you can have to improve your English skills, okay? So next, write notes, make reminders, emails, by using new words or common expressions that you might just learn to improve your vocabulary and sentence structure. Okay, so there are certain expressions, they are quite, set or standardized. So in English, there are idioms, right? So set of collocations in which it will sound funny if you say it, for example, one verb with, you match it with another noun, for example. Okay, with one noun. So there are certain expressions in which they have to go together. And then listening. Listening to music, radio, television, movies, online broadcasts, anything that will help your ears to get accustomed to listening to the English rhythms, okay, and stress patterns, okay. So that's the only way. One of my learning experience, I like to mimic. Not only help your listening by doing that, but also to improve your speaking. Okay, so when people talking in the movie, for example, and there are expressions that are familiar to me, I think I have heard that, and I try to repeat it many times. So that's really helpful. And then read newspapers. Okay, you know that, and then keep journals. So these are some ways that you can make use of if you want to speed up your English skills, okay? But I'm not going to explain further because everyone is familiar. I will go directly to the reading section now. If you want to read the text, don't spend too much time, okay? So probably you have only 5 minutes to do skimming, as what Philly mentioned earlier. So, and 1 minute approximately to answer each question and go back to the passage. So you need to practice, get used to that habit, okay? Because if not, then you will tend to run out of time. How to find main idea? So you need to find first the sentence or the first line of every paragraph, and then you need to kind of confirm or recheck it at the end of the paragraph. So just read the first line and the last line, or the first sentence and the last sentence when you skim, okay? And then read questions. Find what types of questions, because if you know what type of question, you will know where to find the right answers. That's why we are going to discuss this more thoroughly in the last part, okay? So for you to have an idea, for example, main idea questions usually is a question that asks you about what is the topic. Okay, what does the author try to say? So usually it's located in the first sentence. Scan the answers. Find and read part that contain answers carefully. This is the only part in which you can read carefully, okay, not the text, the entire text. And then eliminate obviously wrong answers. Any questions?
Maybe, can you suggest us how? Because we don't accustomed to about that.
It's a part in which we will use the strategy reading by using vocabulary in context knowledge, right? Okay? But for you to know your reading speed is only a matter of helping you to, giving you the information that you have already reached the normal reading speed expected, okay? So for example, when I first test myself, I was below 200 because I'm a kind of person who like to make sure I understand every word. So if you stop on every word that you don't understand, then your reading speed will be a lot lower than 200 words per minute. Yeah, so that's why for the test context, okay, it is important, I think, that you know what is your reading speed. If you are still far behind the standard one, then you need to practice to improve your speed, because if not, then as maybe one of the group mentioned, that you will always run out of time doing the reading section. The first one is main idea question, stated detailed questions, unstated detailed questions, implied detailed questions, vocabulary in context questions, and word questions. So mostly those are all about for the reading in TOEFL, okay? So main idea questions. What kind of questions usually asked about main idea questions? So you can see the list. So if it says what is the topic of the passage, what is the subject of this passage, what is the main idea, what is the author's main point, what is the author primary concern, which of the following would be the best title, those are asking about topic or main idea. So for this kind of question is the one that I mentioned, do the skimming strategy. You don't have to go to every sentence. Look for common theme or idea in the first line. Pass quickly other lines to confirm topic sentence you found, and eliminate obviously wrong answers. Choose the best answer among the remaining choice. Okay, next one. Stated detailed questions. So main idea questions, stated detailed questions are easy, usually given at the beginning of the questions. Stated detailed question, of course, easy because you can find the answers directly, explicitly from the sentences. Yeah, so the sentence or the expression used usually, such as according to the passage, it is stated, the passage indicates, the author mentions, which of the following is true? Usually, all of these kind of questions ask you about stated details. So the second question will never ask you to go back to sentence number 1 or number 2. It will never go back to the previous sentence that you have already done. Okay, so it's always in sequence. 90% I can say. I don't know, say 100% because there's always exception for everything. But 90% that you can guarantee that always go by the sequence. Okay, so don't go back to the beginning of the paragraph if you are doing number 3 or number 4 question. Okay, so that's the idea. So how to find? You need keyword. Okay, so it's important to identify keyword. The skills you have to master. Okay. Unstated detail. This is a little bit more challenging, of course. Okay, because why? Because the answer you cannot find explicitly. Yeah, so you have to choose keyword, scan appropriate place in the passage for keyword or related idea, and then number 4 is important. When you have found the keyword, okay, and then read the sentence carefully. So sentence that hold the keyword, you have to read carefully, and then find the answers that are definitely true. Okay, so according to that sentence, okay, which are the options that are certainly true, obviously true? Don't choose that, because the question is unstated. Yeah, so they are asking, this is very tricky because we are often, tempted or maybe misled by choosing the answer that actually given in the passage, but the question is unstated. So don't choose that answer. Find the answer that is not true or not discussed in the passage. So this statement, in any way, explicitly, implicitly, is not given in the passage. Okay? Pipelines. What is the best answer?
Construction.
Construction. Okay, good. What kind of question is this? Asking about main idea. Good.
I have more than 15 minutes to deliver the general strategies on structure and written expression. Okay, in structure and written expression in TOEFL ITP is a section 2. Structure consists of 15 questions, and it has to do with sentence completion. So it means that you have to complete the sentence, subject, verb, until they complete, whether it is consists of linking verbs or not, or a kind of, adverbial or any other patterns of structure. And then in written expression, you will have 25 questions. Okay, so structure and written expression here has 25 duration. In 25 minutes, you have to do 40 questions. It means that more or less for one question, you have to do in more or less 1.5 minutes. so you catch up with the time. It means that time management is very important, even crucial in doing the test. That's why you have to be wise in managing the time. For example, you are going to take the TOEFL test, TOEFL ITP test. You have to read first some references, as Ibu Colleen mentioned, that you have to buy, for example, the TOEFL book, and then study some patterns of the questions or the type of the questions. So again, you have to be familiar first with the directions. The first section in structure consists of 15 questions. The first one that you have to think is anticipate that the first 5 questions will be the easiest one. Okay, the first 5 questions will be the easiest one for structure session. And then also anticipate for the last 5 questions will be the most difficult. It is about error identification. So you have to identify what's wrong with the sentence, or which part of the options that contains an error. Okay, there are 20 skills, 15 skills here. Okay, this is just the general strategies. Do not pay attention again to the direction because they are always the same. Look at to the underlying word or group of words. Okay, so pay attention to the error parts. If you have been unable to spot an error of the part, the underlying part, by looking at, just read the complete sentence. So read from the beginning of the sentence to check once again what's wrong with the sentence. If you still don't able to find by doing spotting an error.
And then let's move on to listening comprehension. Some of you thought that this part was the hardest. Before IIEF points a center to be testing center, they will check whether the room is good enough or not, whether the room is soundproof enough or not. So you don't have to be worried about this. So it is your worry will be lessened, right? Then on the previous day before the test, 1 day before the test, don't eat anything than rice. I mean, like if you are used to eating rice, then eat rice. Jangan makan pakai yang pedas-pedas atau yang mengganggu perut, ya. Because it will bother you on the next day. So just be normal on your usual day. And then take enough sleep. So if you usually sleep 5 hours, so before the test, it's better to sleep 8 hours. So you have enough time to rest. And also, it's better when you wake up in the morning on the test day, just a little bit take an exercise, like moving your arms, your legs, because you will sit for like 2.5 hours. Yes, more or less 2.5 hours. And then you will be in a cold place. So it's better for you in the morning, like just move your arms, your legs, your head. So it will make you relax. So it helps you to concentrate later on. Yeah, so that you don't have to worry about it. And then on the test day as well, remember that you are not allowed to go to the restroom during the test. So just don't bring a lot of water before the test. So anticipate. So you go to the restroom before the test, and then you can take the test in a relaxed way, so that you are not bothered to go to the restroom once in a while, because you will lose your time. Right? Okay. And then I'll just start from, let's see how you did on the simulation test. So let's check your answers. Let's check your answer first. What does the man mean? Yes?
He may not meet the graduation.
Yeah, the answer is C. Yeah. He may not meet the graduation requirements. For the first part A, it usually covers 30 questions of 30 short dialogues. Yeah. Usually, the questions are more or less the same. Who, what, where, and then it covers negatives as well, functions, contrary meaning, and then idiomatic language. Jadi kata-kata yang kadang-kadang kita nggak familiar tapi bisa lah ya dicoba-coba jawabannya. Biasanya on the second line, on the second speaker, it's stated. Remember the score: section 1 plus section 2 plus section 3. The total of the 3 sections. Okay, have you added all of those? Have you calculated? Okay, and then please divide the number by 3. Okay, have you divided by 3? And then multiply it by 10. Okay, and then who has scored 650 above? Based on assumption.
My assumption, the reading section, most of them 100% correct.
Ibu Asrin and Pak Melvin and sorry, what's your name? Firly. Okay, we have 4. 570 above. 570 above? No one? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The 6 highest among us.
Pak William sudah pulang, boleh diwakili.
Sayangnya tidak boleh diwakilkan. Nanti pajaknya juga diwakilkan. This is new edition ya, even I don't have the umbrella yet. Pak Frida. Pak Melvin.
Kamu muridnya ada.
Anyway, while waiting. So now is the time if you have any questions for Ms. Ira, Ms. Ignace, and Ms. Rita about the TOEFL preparation, maybe the reading strategies, the listening that you still don't understand.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Firly, and I'm going to ask about listening strategy for Ms. Frida. Is that? Yeah. Ms. Frida, I would like to ask, could you tell me what is your strategy to overcome about, especially for the academic lecturer? Because, you know, regarding to the previous, the reading strategy that Miss, yeah, the one that beside you said that you don't have to worry about the topic of anything because it is reading, so just based on the passage. But what about listening one? Because we cannot see this passage and then the topic is out of our understanding is because of the academic one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I'll share my strategy and my experience when dealing with academic lectures. What I usually do is I scan the answers first, and then as I mentioned before, it's okay if you're not familiar with the topic because usually it will be in the academic lecture itself. So it's not based on your assumptions or based on what you don't hear, what you don't listen there. Usually it's not. The question is usually inside the academic lectures there. So what I did is first see the answers, and then as I mentioned before, as I told you before, never only focus on one question because it covers on the whole questions there. Usually you feel that it's still on the first part, but no, it's actually already on the second question, on the third question, and then on the fourth question. So the trap is like you feel like it's on the first question still, yeah? But it's not. It's actually already on the second one, on the third one, on the fourth one. But the key is what I always do. I'll just close my eyes and then I listen. And I never try to, how do you call it, recall what I didn't listen.
When I do the test, I always worry about the tenses, so I cannot answer it right. So the score usually after for the pre-test and post-test, the post-test is lower than the pre-test. I don't know why. Maybe that's my problem. So I want to ask how I do it. I mean, I don't know why, but before I specifically learn about the tenses, before and after, the score is lower after I learn, because when I do the test, I always worry about the tenses. So I don't know what I'm asking.
Yeah, so all the, how many skills? 25, yeah, 25, what is that, topics in the structure. And if you cover all, then you will get a perfect score. But the problem is that, what is that, only practice make perfect, right? So, as I also mentioned in reading, structure actually, if you pay attention, if you're accustomed to do the task, then the more you do it, I think the more you will be able to identify, oh, I remember this kind of question because I've done that in the previous test. So by looking at the pattern, being familiar with the pattern, I think that will help you to find the best answer, because the location of the mistake, for example, is usually just about the same. But the key is, it is a fatal sin, okay, if you don't know how to differentiate parts of speech. So Calvin mentioned, I cannot differentiate part of speech. So, for example, where is verb, where is noun, where is adjective, where is adverb. That is the one thing very fundamental that you have to master. Yeah, because if not, then you will not be able to realize whether the adjective has been placed appropriately or not. So it's not, sometimes it's only a matter of location. It's not supposed to be located over there. Yeah, so if you know where adjective is normally located, then of course you will be able to handle with that kind of question. Austin is going to give us small souvenirs, small gift. The lecturer is having trouble deciding which group are the best three, because you actually contributed to the lively dynamic discussions. So, because you are all the survivors, they decide to give you all the pens. Okay. Please give a big applause for your survival here.
So yeah, apologize for the time, and I would like to share, I guess it's really important for us to take the TOEFL test, because from my personal experience, I wouldn't have a master's degree if I didn't take my TOEFL test. So whatever reason you are here, just make sure you practice. There are an easy shortcut. All you have to do is just take the time, maybe half an hour. Do it as a routine, and just don't get discouraged, and you'll get better. You can always get better. So thank you so much, and have a good night.
From our friends here, in order to get better in our TOEFL ITP, please bless us, please guide us when we are going home, so that we can gather with our family and continue our activities for the glory of your name. In the name of the Lord, we say thank you. Amen.